on a lovely Friday evening. For this session, we'll be looking through the lens of a designer, and we will try to understand the challenges in designing for localization. Before we begin, just wanted to note that this webinar will be recorded for internal purposes only. It will not be shared externally, so not to worry. All right, now for some admin matters. I know that most of you use Zoom, so I'm sure all of you will be pretty experienced. So we'll just quickly go through those for those who need to be familiar with this. So in order to optimize your viewing experience, do select the side-by-side mode under View Options at the top bar. During this session, at any point in time, if you have any questions at all, feel free to use the Q&A function at the bottom of the screen to submit them. Do not use the chat function. Instead, remember to use this Q&A function. Do refer to this format and state the name of the speaker, followed by your question, so that we know who is being addressed to as well. All right, moving on to a brief overview of our agenda today. I will be taking you guys through an introduction to Shopee, and then we'll dive straight into the main sharing session by Chu Ping, our speaker, before ending off with a Q&A session. So first, a bit of background about Shopee. We are actually the leading e-commerce platform in Southeast Asia and Taiwan, and we have a significant number of brands, retail partners, sellers all around the world. For the past few months, we have also been supporting the local communities and small businesses who are affected in this difficult time by introducing them to our platform as well. To kick things off, why not we take a look at the office right now through a video before sharing more.
Hey there, I am your office guide for today. Shopee is my second family, and I can't wait to show you what life at Shopee is like. Come, let's go! I always kickstart my day in the morning with a good workout to keep fit and stay healthy. Then have a hot bath to start the day right. And of course, having a fulfilling breakfast to give you a boost of energy. Oh, it's almost 9:30 a.m. Got to attend a meeting. Hey guys, how's it going? Hey TY, free for a catch up now?
Yeah, sure. Come, let's go for coffee.
Time really flies. It's lunchtime. Before feeding my tummy, I usually like to have my own personal space and time. Now, time for lunch. And a quick game with my lunch buddies. Okay, back to work. I've got to catch up on my work. I've also signed up for training today. It's always good to pick up new skills and knowledge, even with a busy schedule. I'm starting to feel hungry. Guess it's time for a tea break. I can't show you everything in Shopee, but we've also got a prayer room for our Muslim colleagues to pray, nursing room for our new mothers, and even a library for us to borrow books and upskill ourselves. Isn't that amazing? Hey Jane, going for Zumba?
Yeah, I need to stretch my body after a long day. See you around.
See ya! Almost time to knock off and head out to town with my friends. Got to go, see you tomorrow.
Shopee!
Okay, thank you. So hope all of you have enjoyed the video. Now to share some achievements we are humbled to have in our young history. So we are named as #1 shopping app in Southeast Asia and Taiwan by monthly active users. We came into market late around 2015, but we grew really quickly within a span of 5 to 6 years. And right now, we have 20,000 brands and more than 10 million active sellers. How awesome is that? We have also continued to build on our strong momentum and leadership in the region. Shopee's results reflect the increasing importance of e-commerce, our focus on helping businesses succeed online, and our strong affinity with consumers in the region. Well, so Shopee is actually part of a parent company, C Group, the first internet business of scale from Southeast Asia to be listed on New York Stock Exchange. This is really a huge milestone for us. For those who may not be so familiar, our parent company, C, is a leader in digital entertainment, e-commerce, and digital financial services across Southeast Asia. Some of our other subsidiaries of C Group include Garena, a digital entertainment platform used by all gamers across Southeast Asia and Taiwan, as well as C-Money, a digital payment and financial services platform. Over the course of 6 years, we have expanded our presence from Singapore to countries all over the region. You know what? I have actually friends who do not know that Shopee is actually a Singaporean e-commerce company. But yep, we first launched here in Singapore, which is where our headquarters is located. Indonesia is our largest market and Brazil is our newest venture. So the next big question is, how did Shopee manage to grow so rapidly in just 5 years? Well, the answer to that is simple yet complicated. Here in Shopee, we have built our strategies around our users, and we adopted a mobile-focused app right from the start. Over time, as we expanded to more and more countries in the region, we also emphasized on localization for a more personalized shopping experience for our users in different markets. In case you were not aware, our Shopee app actually looks different in every market we are in. Shopee SG will look different from Shopee Malaysia, Shopee Taiwan, Shopee Indonesia, and so on and so forth. Behind all this growth, you can see, we have built a very passionate and committed team by hiring and developing talents across the region. Shopee will also continue to develop new features and initiatives that meet the increasing demand for social interactions and engagement, while making it easier for consumers to shop for what they need online. And most importantly, we are really serious about having fun. Everything from our user experience on the app to our newest ambassador, Pachukang, a famous icon in Singapore, we have tried to incorporate elements of fun, gamification, and social features. Right, so here are some of our innovations that our teams have continuously worked on. Feel free to whip out your phones and open your Shopee app to check this out. We have Shopee games like Shopee Farm, Shopee Candy, which is my favorite game by the way, fun activities like Shopee Squad Challenge, which you can join with friends and family to win attractive prizes, and you can even claim Shopee coins to get yourself some discounts. Wow! Despite our achievement thus far, we stay humble and seek to remain the preferred online shopping platform in the region. Some of these strategies include, number one, constant improvement of our product and category assortment. Number two, constant optimization of our platform. And number three, of course, constant onboarding of more top talent like yourself. Well, so you might ask, how is life like working at Shopee? Going to possibly your first full-time role, I'm sure many of you will be curious about learning and development opportunities. Well, we have plenty of training programs available, ranging from soft skills to technical skills, inter-teams sharings, leadership, mentoring, coaching, and the list goes on. If you have friends who work or intern here in Shopee, you may already know about some of our awesome facilities, as you have seen the video as well. We have fully stocked pantries, my favorite hideout, a gym that is conveniently located in the office itself, as well as sleeping pods on every floor and many other facilities as well. Well, the Shopee app aside, life at Shopee is also made of a very fun-loving culture. Of course, we work hard, but we also play hard. Here in Shopee, we have many engagement activities to support our staff, well-being such as wellness classes, team bondings, and many more. And even during this COVID-19 period, this is not neglected. So that is all for my introduction. As of now, I'll hand over the time to our guest speaker, Zhu Ping. Zhu Ping, over to you.
Hi, Marcus. Okay, let me share my screen. Hey, okay, can you hear me and see my screen? Okay. Hi everyone. I'm very happy to be here, and today I'm going to talk about some stories about Shopee with you. And I'm very happy to be here to talk about this. And a brief introduction about myself. So I'm Zhu Ping, and I'm currently a UI UX designer at Shopee Design Singapore. And so a brief introduction about myself. I have a bachelor's degree in digital media art. And after I graduated from the university, I went to a wearable device company, which is Paceware. And I worked there as a UI UX designer for a year. And in 2018, I decided to I decided to start my master's program in design management at Pratt Institute in New York City. So I went to the United States and I lived there for like 2 years. And and during that time, I also worked as a designer at a design agency, which is Any Studios. And last year, I joined Shopee, and currently I am a designer at Design Team D2, which is digital purchase. So you might be curious about what digital purchase is. So this is the homepage of digital purchase. So digital purchase are a bunch of like digital product that we have on this section on Shopee. So as you can see, we have some top-up services for like phone top-up, for like a data package, for your TV subscriptions. And you can also buy tickets from our platform, for example, flight tickets, bus tickets, and train tickets. And you can pay your bills on Shopee as well. So for example, like pay for your water bills, for your electricity bills, and also pay for a credit card as well. So currently we have in total 6 different design teams at Shopee Design, and all of our designers work on different products and different projects. So we have Shopee Pay and Shopee App, which is the primary business for Shopee. And we currently have design team D1 to D4 work on this 2 product. And as you can see, I think many of you have the experience using Shopee to shop online, and Shopee Pay is a e-wallet. And these are some user interfaces we did for Shopee app and Shopee Pay, as you can see. So other than this, we also have a counter service in Indonesia, which we call it Mitra. So Mitra is a platform that we created for sellers to sell their digital products, as I said earlier, like a digital tickets, vouchers, etc. And the sellers can manage their transactions and their payment, their orders in this platform. And then we also have Now Food. Now Food is a leading food delivery service in Vietnam. So we currently have the design team D5 work on this product. And they also work on another project, which is the post system in Thailand. We call it Ultra. So this is a post system for like small businesses and restaurants to manage their tables, their menus, and then also their payments. Okay, wait. So other than the product design team, we also have the branding team, which they are working on different branding access, for example, like the logo for different Shopee app, for different Shopee's product in different markets, and then marketing campaigns, for example, like 11/11. And then they also draw like illustrations, and we also have the Shopee form that is created by our branding team. Okay, so who are the designers behind the scene? So currently we have many designers at Shopee Design in Singapore headquarters. And all of our designers come from 6 different parts of Asia. So we have Singapore, China, Malaysia, Indonesia, etc., South Korea. And while we are a very young team, while like many of our designers, like 60% of them are senior level or above. So we are very experienced. And these are the team backgrounds of our designers. As you can see, like many of our designers had work experience in some notable tech company, for example, Microsoft, Facebook, TikTok, Gojek, Tencent, etc. And many of our designers complete their degrees all over the world in different places, in Singapore, in Hong Kong, in New York City, in Australia, and also London as well. And we are a very diverse team. So before I talk about the topic today, do you remember that we set up some questions for you to answer when you register for this webinar? So we just wanted to know like how people think about Shopee's designer. So these are some answers I get from you. So the first question I ask is about designers' life at Shopee. So we got some very interesting answer. Some people say like it's challenging. Some people say it's fun, it's creative, it's collaborative, and it's busy. So I'm going to do this. Let's get back to the slide at the end of the sharing. So maybe you can have better ideas about how our designers deal with their challenges. And the second question I ask about is like who we work with the most. So I got many answers, and people say like the top answer is product managers. And then we also have developers, other designers within the team. So I'm going to say like all of these answers are correct. And my answer to this question is I'm going to say I think it really depends on the project and the role that you are working on. So I'm going to introduce some teams or roles that we work with a lot every day, so then you can better understand how our designers work with the others. So we have the business development, department. So they usually have insights or like about the local teams, or like they have like a visions in our business goals. So we usually work with them to think about what our product could be. And we also learn some concerns from the local teams. And we also work a lot with the product managers, for example, because their expertise in technology and feature development. So we work with them to think about what our product would look like, or like what features we wanted to add or change to the product, which we can improve our user experience. And then we also need to work with the other designers. For example, as a UI UX designer, I need to work with the branding designers sometime if I want some supports about like illustration or like a visual design. And also developers, many people say a lot about this. So usually we work with them after we hand over our design to them. So we need to explain our design to them, or like discuss the design about how we're gonna make it real. And then also we work with the BI team sometimes. So this is the business intelligence team. So they collect data and infos from our real users. So we work with them sometimes, for example, like if we want to know how our users respond to one specific new feature about our products, we need to work with them to collect some data or some infos from them. And by those data, we can better understand what our users are thinking about. And all of those data and infos are very helpful for us to guide our design. And then move to the next, which is the third question I ask about, is like what challenges we face day by day. So I got many answers also. I think many people talk about like challenges related to design. So conceptualization is like how we come up with our ideas, and localization is like how we deal with different projects from different markets, which is related to the topic that I'm going to talk about today. And then collaboration is more about like how we communicate with the others. For example, like how we communicate with all cross-functional like departments, and then also how we reach like mutual understanding among all the different stakeholders. And then execution is more about how we hand over our design by the deadline, and how we deal with some limitations about technology. And I also got this very interesting quote from one of our participants, and I hope you're here today. So this person said, making the design fit into each market by localization design, and also maintaining a cohesive yet unique Shopee branding across all platforms. So I personally really like this quote because I think it's very insightful. And I'm going to talk about it today, and it's really related to my topic today. So hopefully at the end of this sharing, I hope I can cover all the challenges. So at the end of this sharing, you might have better ideas about how our designers deal with different challenges. So let's move on. So come to our topic today, which is what exactly are the design challenges that our designers face when it comes to localization for Shopee's business. So when we talk about localization, I think challenges, I think language and translation are something that always come up to people's mind. While I think language and translation are very important, but I think as UI UX designer at Shopee, we are not only dealing with these two factors because there are many challenges. So before I talk about the design, I just want to make sure that we're on the same page. Everybody knows Shopee is currently running our business in 8 different markets, which they are Indonesia, Taiwan, Philippines, Thailand, Malaysia, Vietnam, Singapore, and Brazil. So the digital purchase product that I talked about earlier, they're available on all these markets except Brazil. Okay, so in my opinion, challenges in localization for Shopee's designer, but when the product design is not only for one single market, and your users have variously different cultural backgrounds, and they have different lifestyles, they share different cultures. I think challenges are everywhere. And what are those challenges? So I listed down some factors that I think will impact our design when we talk about localization. So on the left side, we have some factors. I think I would call them soft factors, because all of these factors, our designers can, think through them carefully and make our design decisions strategically, because they are more related to design. So general user behaviors is more about like how our user do to our products. Cultural context is like how our users live their lives in different countries. Design language is more about like how we maintain a Shopee design language. And then scalability, it's like whether the current design can be extended in the future if we wanted to add more like features to it. And on the on the right side, we have some factors I would say it's harder for our designers to leverage, which requires more collaboration with the other teams. For example, some fixed wording for some specific language, and then also business goals, because sometimes we got some opposite opinion from the other teams. For example, like a business team, they concern more about the business goals. And also some limitations about technology. I think it's very common in a tech company. And then also regulation in different markets. I'm sure that we don't want to break the laws by making our design. Okay, so which come to our first case today. So the first case we have here is that how our designers come up with the solution to display restaurants' name in Vietnam and in Thailand. So because many people mention about language, so I'm going to use this case to actually share some challenges about language. And I think indeed, like language matters when we talk about localization. Okay, so we have this product, which we call it Deals Near Me in digital purchase. So this is the homepage you can see. So the basic concept of this product is that our users can get a digital voucher from this product. So it could be food, it could be drinks or any other service. And they can so after they get this voucher, this digital voucher, they can go to redeem them offline in the restaurants. And the price that they get for this food or for this drink is always cheaper than they just directly go to the restaurant. So this is the basic concept of this product. So if our users are interested in this, when they click on this product, if their location is valid, then they will see many restaurants or shops nearby them. So let's focus on this product card, which we have the restaurant's name, we have the food category, we have the distance, and then also some promotion information. And then if they click on this, they will see a detail page about this restaurant. So then they will see the name of this restaurant, and then the location, and then the opening time of this restaurant. So let's focus on the restaurant's name here. Okay, so when we first launched this service in Indonesia, as you can see, we use one line to display their name, and this design went well in Indonesia. And I'm going to tell you why. So I think there are some numbers you might need to know. So the first one is 30 characters. So 30 characters is the maximum amount that one line can display. And why this design went well in Indonesia is because in Indonesia, many like restaurants name, there are around like 25 to 30, I think. And it's a very low rate that a restaurant name in Indonesia will up to 50 characters. While one day our PM came to me and say like the local team in Thailand and Vietnam, they have been receiving a lot of like unsatisfied comment from our users or from the restaurant owners complaining about that this is not a good way to show the restaurant's name for a while. And I look at our system. So I see like there are more than 10,000 shops name in Thailand that their name have more than 40 characters, which is very long. And a most extreme case that we get from Thailand is like 90 characters, which is very, very long. And then we face the same situation in Vietnam as well. So I just randomly put some restaurants name in Vietnam here. So as you can see, these are very long names, and I'm not trying to scare you. These are very normal in Vietnam. So as you can see, like something in common here is that the restaurant owner, they really like use this dash mark to connect different parts. For example, it could be their brand, it could be like the area, it could be the food that they're very good at, sometimes even like the slogan. So I'm going to break down one specific name from our system so then you can get a better idea how like this restaurant owners name their restaurant. So we have this one, which is Virgo. So Virgo, this is 62 characters, including blank. So Virgo is their branded name. And then we also have the second part is what this food is about. So it's like a sweet corn or rice in Vietnam. And then also we have the third part, which is the area of Ho Chi Minh City. And then the last part is the district of Ho Chi Minh City. So this is a very long name, and the restaurant owner considered this as the full name for the restaurant. And I'm going to tell you why that happens a lot in Vietnam. Because in Vietnam, many restaurants, there are like small businesses or like they're small businesses. So many those restaurant owners, they try their best to differentiate themselves from the other brands. So they will try to put like everything that they think is valuable to their brand into their restaurant's name. And then wait. And then, so this is their strategies, and it's very common in Vietnam. So at the beginning, when I got this project, I think maybe I can work something on this. So I tried different design. For example, I smaller the size of the font, and I also try like reorganize the information as well. But finally, due to the technology, limitation or the development cost, we decided to go with the most efficient way, which we show two lines for the names in Thailand and in Vietnam. And also after after this design on live, we also extended this design in Indonesia as well, in case that there are some name is long in Indonesia. Okay, so this is the first case about language challenges we face, and it's very small, but I think it's very interesting to talk about because it related to like culture in Vietnam, like how to name their how like restaurants name restaurant owners to name their names, their restaurants names, and I think this is the first case, and also I think in Shopee, like many of our designers face challenges of languages every day, and there are tons of them, and this is just one small of them. And okay, so this is the first case. I'm going to the next one, which we come to the case second. We have like this is like how we think through the process of paying water bills in Vietnam and in Thailand. So this case is more about how we think about our users' behaviors and how do they usually do in their country. So I'm going to show you two different water bills. One is from Vietnam and one is from Thailand. And if anybody can tell me what's the difference between these two water bills. Okay, so if there's no, then I'm going to tell you the difference. So difference is very obviously that we have a barcode in the water bill on the water bill in Thailand, and it's very obvious. And let's remember this point because it's very important to our design. And move on. I think there are some background information you might need to know about Vietnam and Thailand in order to understand our design. So in Vietnam, there are many water supplies company. And in our system, we work with more than 44 of them. So in different cities and different districts, they have different like water supply company. While in Thailand, we only have two. And there are PWA and NWA. So why does that happen? That is because in Vietnam, most of this water supply company, they're commercial and they're operating by many small businesses. And then in Thailand, these two water supply organizations, they owned by the Thai government. So this difference results in two different situations in two different countries, which let's look at the water account number in Vietnam. So because I said like there are many small businesses. So in the water supply industry in Vietnam, it's harder for their industry to set up some universal specification for their industry, which their account number, their water account number, it's very, very different. It could be 6 to 20 digits, including like numbers, alphabets, and punctuations. While in Thailand, things are easier because we only have the barcode, as I said, and the barcode will appear in whatever the digital bills or the letter that they send to your house. Okay, so remember this when we work on the design for Vietnam, because I said like there are many of those water supply company. So if our users wanted to pay for the water bills on Shopee, the first thing that they need to do is they need to select their water supply company. And because there's many of them, so we have the search bar for our users to quickly locate their water supply company. And after they located the water supply, then they can input their account number. And if the account number is valid from our system, then they can check their bills, and then they will know like how much they need to pay for this month and their address, their customer IDs, etc. So then next step, they can just pay for this bill. So we are using this design different other countries, for example, like Indonesia, Philippines, Malaysia, because their situation are very similar, especially in Indonesia, because in Indonesia, there are more than 300 of like, water supplies company. It's a lot. So a slightly different here is that the design we had in Malaysia and in Philippines, our users also need to input their amount number by the policy, by the difference of the policy. So at the beginning, when we think about the design for Thailand, we also try to use the same flow and send design. And also, by the way, because the electricity is also owned by the Thai government, so we combine the electricity and the water bill to utility bills. And so our users can also pay for their electricity bills on and Shopee as well. So talk about the design. So at the beginning, we'll think about this because there are only two of this water supply company, as you can see, PWA and NWA. So our users, they don't need to search for it. And when they click on this, they need to, the first design we think about is that they can input their account number. Well, by doing this design, there's something good about this design. The first thing is it's more consistent because we reuse the flow and the layouts. And second one is that it's more efficient because we use less design resources and we reduce the development cost. While when it comes to localization, the design and the user experience is not considered very localized for Thai people. And I'm going to tell you why. So let's bring this to water bills back. So we have one from PWA, one from NWA. It's obvious that we can see the barcodes there. So I'm going to tell you another thing is that before the digital payment technology is commonly used in Thailand, like many people, they took their bills to the branches of PWA or NWA or like 7-Eleven banks to pay for their bills. And there are a lot of people that are still doing this until now. Especially for like elder people or like, people who are living in, rural area. So I think Thai people, they have a stronger feeling about this barcode because when they took this barcode to the branch, the cashier will scan the barcode so then they can pay for this bill. So they are familiar with this process. So another thing about this barcode is I'm going to tell you that this barcode is very powerful and useful because with this barcode, if we scan it, we can know our customer's invoice ID, their customer ID, and then the due date that they need to pay for this bill, which this is the Buddhist calendar. And then 15836 is the amount that they need to pay for this month, which is 158.39 Thai bahts. So finally, eventually, when we think about the design for Thailand, the first thing that they still need to do is that they need to locate their water supply company, but it's very easy because there are only two of them. And then the next step that they will do is they can scan the barcode. And after they scan the barcode, the bills will automatically show up to them, which they can see how much they need to pay for this month, their customer IDs, their address, etc. And then the next step, they can just pay for these bills. So by the change of this design, we actually improve their user experience. First, because by scanning this useful code, like our users, they don't need to input their account number, they don't need to check the bill, and the bills will just show up to them. So it's more convenient, it's more time saving. And also scanning the barcode is also like something that Thai people are familiar with. So after we change the design become more localized. And in order to keep the localization for like different designs, we have some methods to think about localization. For example, we have the field trip to go to like our local markets. So before the pandemic happened, we have some designers, they went to Taipei, they went to Vietnam, they went to Indonesia, they talked to vendors, they talked to customers and other stakeholders to learn something from our users. And we can learn what they need from our product. And then we continue to do this. For example, we have some research. We interview our users, and then we also have Zoom like a Zoom call, and then we collect some data and info from them, so then we can better understand what our users need from our products. And then so by sharing some cases, you might get a sense that for Shopee's designer, like we also value consistency, because for Shopee's designer, like localization is not the opposite of consistency. A huge part of the challenges is maintaining the similar design language and keep the design consistent for different markets, which I'm going to, echoing a little bit about the quote that I shared with you earlier in this sharing. So in order to maintain the consistency, this is how we do. We have our Shopee design guideline, which are a bunch of specifications and rules for designers to refer from. So we have the guidelines for our mobile app, for the PC guideline, and then we also have component libraries. So these are some standard components for our designers to use in their design files. So we have component for our mobile app, for the PC, and also specifically for our digital purchase. So by using these components, our design can be more consistent and organized. And also we have some branding guideline, which these are some strategies for maintaining branding assets. For example, like a brand color, brand book, and Shopee font, etc. Okay, so all of this consists of one simple thing, which is Shopee design language that we value so much at Shopee Design. And also these are some cases that can show you how we use this component. So we have these components in our Figma, so user and our designers can just use them in our design files very efficiently, and then also very convenient. So one last case about today's sharing. So we also have the phone top up for like a phone top up service for different markets. For example, as you can see, the phone top up service in Singapore, in Vietnam, in Malaysia, and in also Indonesia. So they look very similar. Well, slightly different here is that we have the design in Indonesia. It's a little bit than the design Vietnam. So in Indonesia, we have some phone number carriers here. And if our user input their phone number, we can detect what this phone number belongs to, like what carriers this phone number belongs to. And then in Vietnam, things is a little bit different because, for example, if I am a Vina phone user, from the beginning, I got this phone number. And after 2 years, I decided to change my carriers to G-Mobile. And that is okay in Vietnam, you can do that. While in our system, we are unable to know whether our users change their carriers or not. We can only know their original carriers, which will show that to them. But so then we have to provide a list for our users to double check and make sure that they are not top up for the phone carrier, the incorrect phone carriers. And because we don't want them to pay unsuccessfully. And when we look at all of them, they still look very consistent because we use the same layout, we use the same structure, we also use the same flow as well. So because at the end of the day, these are all Shopee's products, so they have to look like Shopee. And this is how we deal with how we balance localization and consistency. And so 3 key takeaways for today's sharing, I think. So the first one I will going to say, like localization is an approach to deliver a delightful user experience, which in order to do that, our designers, we need to think about our users' culture, our users' behavior, the language, etc., etc. So then we can create product that our users will love to in different markets. And the second one, so challenges of localization are way more than just translation, as I said. The cases I share, because we have to deal with challenges like regulation, technology, culture, something like this. So it's complicated than what we think about for localization. And then the third one, I mean, in overall, I think localization is strategy, not a purpose. So localization, I think is a strategy that we need to have from a perspective of business growing, because localization is very beneficial for us and for our business to be growing. Then we can get more customers. We can compete with like competitors in different markets. And it's not only about design, it's also about marketing, customer service, and then also other products as well. And from a perspective of design, like localization is also a strategy that I share. Like this is the strategy that our design team need to have to deliver the user experience that our users will love to use. So as Shopee, as designers at Shopee, we are not only making localization because of localization, because there are many other factors we still need to consider. As I said, like how do we manage different design, different markets? How do we reduce the cost of development? How do we reduce the cost of implementation, etc.? So yes, that is the challenges that we have to face every day at Shopee. So let's get back to the slide. So as I said, like cases I share, like yes, Shopee designers life at Shopee. It's very challenging because the case I share, like we have to deal with different factors, as I said, regulation, language, etc., etc. And then also it's very fun because we have projects that are from different markets. So it's always good to learn like something new about different cultures and from different people. And then collaborative as well. We have to work with PMs, the BI team, as I said, like so to come up with the best products for our users. And then also creative, yes, and busy, yes, of course. So this is my sharing for today. And I really hope you enjoyed the sharing today. And I hope you can learn something from this sharing. And if you wanted to know more about Shopee Design, you can read more articles from Shopee Design Medium. And we also have the Shopee Design Instagram account, so you can follow us on Instagram. And that is my sharing today. Sorry, I'm a little bit nervous at the beginning, but yes, thank you so much for attending this sharing, and I hope you really enjoy it. And thank you so much. And I'm going to hand over the slide to Marcus. Thank you.
Okay, thanks Tu Ping for your insightful sharing. Well, it seems really challenging but interesting at the same time. And to be honest, I got a bit hungry during your first case study that you shared about designing the names for restaurants. Yeah. So anyway, all right, we have come to the final segment of our webinar today, where we'll go straight into answering some of the questions that you guys have pre-submitted, and also some questions that you guys submitted during the webinar when Tu Ping was presenting just now. So for now, we have selected a couple of HR questions, which I will be helping to answer, and also a couple of questions that is design related, which Tu Ping will be helping to answer. All right, so for the first question, we got this pre-submitted question. If I am interested in a UI UX design role, but do not have the relevant background, is it still possible for me to join and learn on the job? Well, the answer to that is as long as you have a solid foundation on design skills, no matter where you pick it up from, it could be via academics during your education, it could be your full-time working experience, it could be a personal interest that you have a portfolio you share, or you could be doing freelancing projects and you come with a strong mindset to solve problems with design solutions, then please welcome to submit your resume and portfolio and to join the team and continue to learn to sharpen your skills. So for the next question we have, how do I apply and what would the interview process be like? All right, so for this, it's very simple. You can just go to our career website, to submit your resume plus design portfolio, and our recruiters will get back to you if the requirements of the role are matched. So usually the process will be this. There will be a preliminary call by the recruiters, followed by 2 to 3 face-to-face, or right now because of COVID, it's through Zoom video interviews with the design team. So in some cases, there will be design tests, there will be case studies for you to take home and try. So this entire process will usually take about 2 to 4 weeks. So for the next question, I think this is directed to Zhu Ping. Hey Zhu Ping, so I think some of our audience here will want to know how often do the designers actually collaborate with each other in their daily work? As you mentioned, you were from Design Studio 2, and there is some collaboration with the brand design team. So maybe you can share a bit more on that.
So okay, I think we work with each others within the design team very well. For example, I am a UI/UX designer, right? We have different other UI/UX designers. So most of the time we could work on different features within the same product, which we need to discuss again and again a lot about the product or the feature we wanted to create. And also like for UI/UX designers, we sometimes need to work with the branding designers. So if we need some supports from them, like illustration or like a visual design. So this is how we usually work with each others together. So that is my answer for this question.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, so there's another question directed at you, Zhu Ping. So for the next question, how do the designers learn and grow at Shopee Design? Because I believe that some of our audience here, they could be undergraduates or perhaps looking for a first full-time role. So this might be a question that they are more interested in.
All right, so can you go to the next slide, Marcus? Okay, yes, so I think we have many training program at Shopee Design. For example, like we have the design talk, UX talk that we have like once a month. So then our designers can share their ideas with the others. And also like sometimes we invite like guest speakers. For example, they can come from marketing, and they can come from business team or from the local team. So then we can know what like they're thinking about and some ideas from them. And also last year, we invited the CEO to come to our team to share some insights about design tools and design trend to our team. And then we also, host the UX workshop. So then our designers can learn some design skill from this. And then from the company, we also have some training program that we can also take. For example, like how to manage your time, how to deal with like multi-projects, how to work with the others more efficiently. So these are all the training program that we can learn and grow from this training. So I think this is how our designers learn and grow at Shopee.
Okay, I think there's really lots of workshops and gatherings that the designers learn from each other as well. So for one more question, I believe that maybe somebody has already applied for one of our design roles. So the next question is, can you share some tips, to Ping, when applying for Shopee design roles, and how do you do so well at the interviews?
I think, yes, I think as a designer, I did have some, tips for designers you want to apply for Shopee. So I think two things that is very important when you apply for Shopee. The first thing I think is you need to take very carefully about the position description that we had on our career page. You need to know the job duty. You need to know our requirements for this role. So then you can better present yourself in the way that we believe that you can be the best candidate for this role. And then also another tip for designers, I think, fully prepare your portfolio and not only focus on the outcomes, and you need to show us how you come up with the ideas, what the process, what the logics or philosophies behind your design. So then we can better understand how you tackle different challenges. And also, I think one more thing is very important is that you need to be very confident when we reach out to you, because as Shopee Design, we are not only looking for a design expert, we are looking for a very good team member that can fit our team vibes and can share our values. So I think these are some tips that I think may be helpful for you if you want to apply for Shopee.
Okay. Hey, Zhu Ping, so I think there's one live question coming in. So this is from Adrian. So she said, thank you for sharing on your working progress. It's really wow. She gave the, the smiley face. So she has a question about this. For example, how do you actually, work between designer and researcher in such a short time? Is it something that you do yourself, or do you have a researcher to help you? And also, how do you manage with the languages, payment insight, which you never know before?
Okay, so I think it really depends on the project. So because like as designer, you definitely need to know like the something. Sometimes you need to do research by yourself. But because I told you that we work with different teams, so we usually get those data or like those insights, as you said, like a payment, like all of those process we don't know about. So we have the business team that I talked about that they have some insights about the local team. So then they will share this protocol with us. And then also the local teams they are very helpful, like when they share something to us, so then we can know how like those data, those information, and then we can deal with all of those information in our design. So it's like not we are doing by ourselves. We also work with the other teams. So yes, that is my answer, I think.
Thanks for the answer. So maybe we can take one more as we still have a couple of some time left. So how about Suping, about this? Do you guys need to understand coding or like the backend related engineering stuff during your design?
So I think it's not technically that you need to have the skills, but as a designer, it's always better that you know something about this. So I mean, there are many designers in our team. They know how to coding. They know how to do things about backend technology. So my tips for this question is that if you can learn something of that, it's definitely beneficial, not only for applying for Shopee. I think it's very beneficial for your career. So I'm currently learning something about this as well. So yes.
Okay, great. Okay, Suping, so we will take one last question due to time constraints. So the last question that I'll pick is from Jolene. So Jolene mentioned, how do Shopee designers actually keep their designs fresh?
Okay. So I think there are so many different ways that we can do it. First of all, like there are many, website that we can refer to, and there are so many different brands or, company that we can refer to their design, and also how to keep our design fresh. Like we also need to know what the design trend is currently on the market. So then we can think how to discover that kind of direction and think about what we can do for our design. And also, I think other thing is like we also gain something, as I said, like from the team members. So they will let us know like what we can do to our users. So it's like different ways that we can do this. So yes.
Okay, great. So I think we will put an end to the Q&A session over here. So moving on to the next slide, maybe I'll take some time to share on this CLT program by Shopee. So for our CLT program, our company-led training is actually a specialized program for our full-time new hires to upskill while learning a full-time monthly salary. So CLT program associates will undergo 6 months of on-the-job and structured training, as well as be assigned a mentor within the same department who will support their journey and help them improve their skills. So applying for the CLT program is really easy. Just visit careers.shopee.sg and apply for roles relating to product management, software engineering, user experience design, business, data analytics. Our interviewers will then assess and place eligible applicants in the CLT program. So you can apply for the role even without prior tech background, as long as your experiences and skill set match the role you're applying for. So you can actually take your time to actually scan the QR code right here and find out more about CLT. Okay, so for the next slide, and we have actually come to the end of our design webinar. Thank you, everybody. I hope that all of you have managed to gain some helpful takeaways as well, and have a great weekend ahead. Please remember to follow our Shopee Careers as Instagram as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Thanks, Choping.
Thanks.